Good afternoon, Rachel. I'm Madison. I understand you are here to receive some counseling services for some sadness that you've been experiencing lately.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that sadness that you're feeling?
Um, do you have to know why?
It would help me to understand what's been going on for you lately.
Okay. Are you going to write it down? Are there any recording devices in this room?
We are not recording right now, and if you prefer, I cannot take notes.
Okay. I just don't like records of where I've been. I mean, I have special glasses and I wear like clothing that doesn't show my form. Like these special glasses prevent cameras from taking pictures of my eyes, and I get nervous. And normally I have a hat that covers my ears because I know they can identify you by your ears. So I get very concerned about that.
I understand.
Yeah,
We are not recording this session, so it sounds like you have some concerns about your safety as well as this sadness experience that you're having.
My grandma died recently, and I was at the funeral, and I got in trouble with my aunt because I'm not, obviously you don't laugh at a funeral, but sometimes just things happen. And before my grandma died, she talked to me about my mom. My mom isn't in the picture anymore. She went into rehab, and she was coming out of rehab, and they diagnosed her with skiddly doo bop, bop 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 bop. That disorder, there's a disorder, what's it called? The sizzle something. But she was diagnosed, and it was something serious, and it was kind of scary. And I just wanted to see if maybe I had the same thing. I don't want to become a drug addict like my mom.
Okay, so I heard you share about your grandmother's funeral and that loss, and then something that took place at the funeral between you and your aunt that was a little disconcerting for her and for you. And then you shared that your grandmother, before dying, discussed with you about your mom and her previous diagnosis. And was it schizophrenia, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she was diagnosed with schizophrenia previously, and you have some concerns that surround the potential of that diagnosis.
Yes.
Gotcha. Is this your first time in counseling?
Yes. This is my first time in counseling. Yeah, and I think what you would call anxiety. After the funeral, I just haven't felt like myself. My senses have just been a little off. Like, I know I've been in this room before. I recognize this place. I know that you have a mirror here, which I appreciate you guys covering up the mirror, but it's just, I just feel like I know this. And like with you, I recognize you, and I think you're okay. I think I can trust you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the anxiety that you say you're feeling?
I guess, yes. I've been living alone it's been 2 months since my grandmother died. And like, I had to attend the funeral, and I mean, I know that my grandmother isn't there. I've already seen her, since then. She appears to me quite often. So I'm not really like alone per se, but the funeral, I really hated being around all those people. I just hated it. I don't even understand, why people have funerals. I just feel like it's kind of a conspiracy. I think that, people gather and then they take names and you sign that book in the front. And I think it's just a way to track you and where you're at. So, but yeah, it's just been very stressful. And then I had some concerns because I don't think my grandmother died as a result of natural experiences. Even though the doctors and the person that came to the house said that she died of natural causes, I don't think so. All of my family and friends started bringing me food afterwards, and I wouldn't eat it because I just don't think that it was safe. I think that me and my grandmother knew that she was about to die. We have white lights. Angels talk to us. I know that when it comes to this situation, I think that I'm next, and it's just not typically it, because I usually, and I've seen a lot of white lights lately.
Mm. So I hear you saying that you had some concerns about your safety and being alone, and potentially whether your grandmother's death was accidental or potentially not so.
Yes.
So there's definitely some concerns around safety and what that means in terms of your what you can rely on.
Yes.
You said that you've been receiving messages from the white lights.
Did you
Can
see
you tell
that?
me a little bit more about that?
Did you see that light? Did you see the light just now?
I did not
Oh,
get
so
to see
you
it.
can't see it. Okay. Well, my grandmother and I guess my mom too, we could all see things that not everybody can see.
Okay.
You have to have the right kind of eyes. You know, not every, you know what, and I don't even know why I'm explaining it to you. Not really everybody can understand this, so. But it's obvious to me.
Okay. And what kind of messages do these lights share with you?
Oh, it's not just lights. I can see all kinds of things. I can see dark entities, and they just come up and talk to me. And it's not always words. Sometimes it's more feelings like fear or anxiety or sadness. So it may not even be me. It may just be them communicating to me. But it was just really weird because none of the people that came up to me at the funeral had really ever talked to me before. I mean, they've never. I'm not convinced that they had good motives. I'm just not convinced. I mean, you know, it's just like how the government, you know, uses satellite waves and contrails and measles vaccines as mind control and fluoride in the water to keep people so they can keep, you know, and guess what? When they get all done with that, they send you back to, guess what? The Federal Reserve. And where all the gold and birth certificates are stored by the real puppet master, the world monarch, who is himself only the servant of the all-seeing eye who controls everything in the world. But I mean, you know, that's everybody knows that, so.
Sounds like you've been thinking about this all a lot lately. This has all been very present for you. Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with your grandmother?
Yes. Yeah. I guess I was close to her. She just understood me. I mean, she did her thing and I did mine. And even though we lived in the same house, we didn't get in each other's spaces. You know, she just got me. And I lived with her since I was, I guess, about 8. We didn't have to talk, you know, we just had this telepathic connection and we could both hear and see the same things, but no one else could. And now that she's gone, you know,
Is there anyone else in your life that you're close to or that you spend time with?
No, not with my grandma gone. I still have a mom, but nobody knows where she's at. I mean, she's a drug addict, and you know, I prefer to keep to myself. I don't really need anybody. You know, I was always made fun of growing up. You know, in school, I didn't do very good in school, and I was teased a lot, and I struggled a lot. And my mom was, of course, no help. And my grandmother, you know, she would like reach out to me during the day with the lights. I knew she was in the room with me, and I think, you know, I get a lot of messages. Like just there, something's gonna happen. Yeah, something serious is up.
So what I'm hearing from you is that you're a little bit more. You're not uncomfortable being alone.
Yes.
You're not uncomfortable being on your own.
I prefer it that way.
But you feel like distant from your mom in that relationship, and the school age friends that you had were not close friends in the past, and you're not really interested in interacting with people like at the funeral. Does that sound about right?
She just didn't get me. And then the people I work with, you know, because I work at the post office, which my grandma and I both thought it would be good to work with the government so that we could keep an eye on things. But I started that job, and you know, I just with the lights and there's so many different things that go on there, and God forbid I become abductable by the reptilian aliens, you know, because back in the 30s, FDR made a whole deal with these reptilians to exchange people for technology. And that was the basis of the New Deal. Ever since then, people have been they've been slowly replacing all the world's people with these reptilian creatures. And you can see it in their eyes. I think that's why some people can see things and some people can't. Because when it comes to lights and different things like that, I think some people are way more sensitive than other people. This is probably pretty confusing to you. I know that it's not always easy to understand when you're not part of things, so.
No, I can definitely.
They never believe me. They always call me crazy.
Well, I can tell you feel very strongly about this, and you are feeling a lot of anxious feelings surrounding this, and that you feel a little discouraged to trust, because there's a lot to be worried about out there for you.
Well, especially when you see red lights, because red lights are like the warning lights, you know? It's like they tell you and you see the red lights, and then, like, for instance, I knew that my boyfriend was going to break up with me because I saw like 8 red lights in one day, and I knew, and it was the lights again. The lights were telling me. So
can you tell me a little bit more about your ex and that relationship?
No, we tried. We dated on and off for about 7 months. It's probably the longest relationship that I really had, and I thought he got me, and I thought he could see the lights, but come to find out, he was, you know, I think he didn't work. I think he was in league with something else. I think he ended up being on the other side, and I had no part of it. You know, you just can't trust anybody.
So you saw the red light that gave you a warning. So
yes.
These lights that you see are providing you with messages about what's getting ready to happen.
Sometimes you can see a red light with a white light, and that means that one of your closest ones is there. I mean, it's a whole elaborate thing. But the red light and the white light, the red light is, you know, something bad is going to happen, and sometimes you get the feeling. And even though, like, I just saw a red light, and I just know that something is going to, like, I feel like I'm a little concerned about even leaving the office today. I don't. You know, but it's weird. It's like I know everything will be okay.
Well, I hear you saying that you have concerns, but you also have that balance of some confidence that things will work out. We're coming to the end of our session for today. Is there anything else you would like to talk about or that we haven't touched on yet?
No, I just want to make sure that you didn't take notes and that you're not recording it.
Absolutely not. I did not take notes today, and we did not record your session, but I would like to see you again if that would be all right.
I'll have to let you know. I'm not sure where I'll be at. You know, different things are happening, so I'll have to let you know.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you coming in today and sharing with me.
Thank you.